They told her not to go. It's dangerous, they warned. Too remote, too wild. But Emily wasn't one to be easily swayed. She had spent years studying wildlife biology, and this was the opportunity of a lifetime, a 3-month expedition deep into the Amazon rainforest to document endangered species. What she didn't expect was to find something even rarer than the animals she came to study, a love story that would change her life forever. Emily arrived in Brazil with a team of researchers, full of energy and ambition. The plan was to set up a small camp several miles into the forest, far from any villages or towns. The deeper they went, the more the jungle swallowed them whole. Towering trees blocked the sun, vines curled around everything, and the air was thick with the scent of earth and rain. It was beautiful and overwhelming. On the third day of the trek, their local guide injured his leg, and the team was left unsure of what to do next. That's when they met Tiago. He appeared from the trees like a ghost, barefoot, silent, with deep brown eyes that missed nothing. He was from a nearby indigenous community and had grown up in these woods. He spoke Portuguese and broken English, but his gestures and quiet confidence said more than words ever could. He offered to help guide them safely, and with no better option, Emily's team agreed. At first, Emily kept her distance. Tiago was unlike anyone she had ever met, calm, patient, and deeply in tune with nature. He knew the forest like an old friend. He could name every bird call, every rustle in the leaves. He could sense when rain was coming or when danger was near. Emily was fascinated by how he moved through the jungle, not just surviving, but thriving. She began to follow him closely, asking questions, taking notes, watching how he interacted with the world around him. Over time, their conversations grew longer. They would sit by the fire at night, exchanging stories in a mix of English, Portuguese, and smiles. Emily talked about her life in New York, the chaos, the cold, the coffee shops. Tiago told her about growing up in the forest, swimming in the river as a child, and the stories passed down by his elders. He told her about the plants that healed, the animals that watched from the shadows, and the spirits that lived deep in the trees. One evening, a sudden storm trapped them in a small wooden shelter they'd built near the river. Rain pounded the roof, and lightning flashed through the trees. Emily shivered, soaked and scared. Tiago sat beside her, silent and steady, until finally he turned and said softly, "The forest is loud, but it never lies." That line stayed with her. Something shifted after that storm. Emily began to see the forest not as a place to conquer or study, but as something alive, something sacred. And in Tiago, she saw not just a guide, but a kindred spirit. He made her feel grounded, safe. He made her laugh. And when he looked at her, it wasn't like anyone ever had. The jungle, though wild, seemed to slow time. Days melted into one another, marked by bird calls in the morning and the buzz of cicadas at night. Emily and Tiago spent hours walking together, collecting samples, climbing trees, even getting caught in a rainstorm or two. Every moment with him felt like a discovery, not just of the world, but of herself. One afternoon, as the sun dipped low, they came upon a small clearing. Vines hung like curtains, and flowers bloomed in colors so bright they seemed unreal. Emily turned to say something, but Tiago was already looking at her. He stepped closer, brushed a leaf from her shoulder, and for a moment they stood frozen in the golden light. No words were needed. When he kissed her, it was gentle, like the forest had been holding its breath and had just exhaled. But love, even in the jungle, doesn't come without challenges. When word reached Emily's team that she and Tiago were getting close, tension began to rise. Some saw it as unprofessional. Others were simply uncomfortable with her falling for someone so different, from a different world, a different way of life. Tiago's community, too, had concerns. They feared she might leave and take him with her, or worse, that she might stay and not understand the balance their people fought to keep. Emily felt caught between two worlds. Her heart was torn. She loved the man, the forest, the peace she found there. But she also missed her family, her city, the life she had built. Tiago sensed her struggle. One night, under the stars, he held her hand and said, "You don't have to choose today. The river doesn't rush to reach the sea." As the expedition neared its end, Emily knew she had to return home. Her work, her commitments, they waited for her. The day she left, the forest felt quieter than usual. Tiago walked her to the edge of the trail. They didn't say